Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Do any of you guys do ratting in Ishtars? Do any of you guys do ratting in Myrmidons? Do any of you guys do ratting in drone boats? Well, there's a good update for you guys on the list right here. There's going to be some changes to the drone aggro system, and this is something I've seen upcoming for a long time because of how drone AI, just the way it works. Drones, if your main ship is attacked and you're using drones, the drones, they will then auto attack enemy ships. So if you're like doing ratting and then the enemy ships attack you, you can set your drones actually to being aggressive. And I can actually show you what this is right here, because I'm in a Rattlesnake, which is actually a very popular drone boat right here. The NPCs will then attack you, and then the drones will attack the NPCs without you having to do anything, because there's like this automatic drone aggression thing. But this drone aggression change that will occur will make it so that this is completely removed from the NPCs. It'll only work on player ships. So if we just undock right here, and I'll show you what I mean. So you can see here, there's aggressive. Aggressive means that the drones will, if I deploy them, they will then attack things that attack me. I don't have to like lock them up and tell them that, oh, I'm gonna shoot this. It just means that, like, you know, the drones will automatically attack. And this is really convenient, really nice that you didn't have to bother with this. But this is going to change. You won't have this, at least when it comes to NPCs. It'll still work for players, but it won't work for NPCs. If we go in this dev blog right here, this one right here, there's a lot of controversy going on right now. I fully understand why there's a lot of controversy, because this really will be a pain in the butt, actually. Because this really will make it so that using drones will be a lot more annoying. I can see multiple reasons for why they did this. The reason CCP says is that it's because they want to make so that doing like ratting or doing mission running, you know, NPC based PvE content in drone boats is less AFK. For like you have to pay attention, and I understand why they do that, and I think it's definitely a good thing when players, they like are more aware or more like engaged in the game. Not that they're like half AFKing, like they're not watching some movie and then just basically EVE Online is the secondary thing, but the movie is the first thing. But me personally, like, I just think this is just going to be annoying, because it'll just be really annoying when it comes to many of these NPC-based activities. One of the things I loved about drones was that you can just deploy them and then they'll just go crazy. And then, for example, with my Rattlesnake, then, if I was doing a mission, I don't do a whole lot of missions nowadays in the Rattlesnake, but what I used to do was I just drop my drone sometimes, then the drones will go crazy, and then I just use my missiles on the NPCs that are relevant for using on the missiles. Now, that won't happen. I have to always lock everything up. Many people in this thread right here, they were confusing that this change was to deal with bots, but it actually isn't the case. This is not made to like deal with bots. This is made just to make it so that the people are more present on their computer, not that they're like AFKing. That is something I understand. You want to have people playing a game. You don't want to have the game being secondary. And I've as I said before, I've seen this coming for a long time, because drones, to me, always felt pretty overpowered because of them being able to do this. Drones have lots of benefits compared to other weapon systems. You've got, first of all, you've got drones that can do basically every damage type. You can do thermal, EM, explosive, kinetic, all of them at once. You're not locked to a specific type, like, you know, laser beams, where you can only do EM and thermal damage. Then on top of that, the drones have pretty good range, because you can tell them to just go to different places that are really far within your drone control range. Then plus that, they've got pretty good application. Like, I can get heavy drones to pretty easily apply to frigates, or not really easily, but with relative ease. If I use a torpedo, cruise missile, blaster without having to like use serious application modules, then I'm not gonna. There's no way those things will apply to NPC frigates. So I've always felt that drones have been pretty overpowered in general when it comes to them as like a weapon system in EVE, just because they can do everything. The only downside is that they take a bit of time to travel to their targets, and also that they actually have a little bit of, like, you know, there's the possibility of losing them as well, because they can get hits, and then you have to recall them, and then there'll be a bit of drone micromanagement. So there's always been that aspect, but in general, I felt like, especially when it comes to the PvE side of EVE Online, because me personally, I do a lot of PvE stuff, I've always felt that drones are pretty powerful, especially when it comes to, this is like extremely a lot when it comes to nullsec ratting, where you just go to the anomalies and blast them. Not so much when it comes to missions, because in missions you have to move around a lot, and then that means you have to move the drones around a lot, and that'll take a bit of time. But this is really a big thing when it comes to the nullsec anomalies. And you know what, me personally, what I do a lot, the Abyss. This is the main thing that I'm annoyed about, because in the Abyss, you know how I use the Gila a lot. Now this, as well, I understand this. The Gila has been like so popular in the Abyss. It's just so good at doing the cruiser Abyss that it's so popular. It feels almost like there's no other choice really. There are obviously other choices than the Gila to do high tier Abyss filaments like T5, T4, but the Gila is just really good. High DPS, good application, good tank. It's got everything in there. So it was always really a good alternative to do abyssal stuff. But the thing is now, the Gila will have a very rough time when it comes to sensor dampeners NPCs. Specifically, what I'm thinking about is the T5 bonus room. You know that bonus room where you've got all the massive fleet of Leshaks? Then they will have, often it's not uncommon that they have sensor dampeners, and what happens is you spawn at like 70 kilometers, like 100 kilometers away from these guys. So because of that, you're going to have to get in range like 40-30 kilometers of these Leshaks. These Leshaks, Triglavian weapons, apply really good. They're going to just annihilate a Gila. So I feel like now that these changes are occurring to drone aggressions, I often relied on using my auto aggression of drones to be able to just go and attack these blinding ones, because when I get blinded like by these sensor dampeners, I can't lock them up. So all I had to do was rely on the auto aggression to be able to attack NPCs. Now basically what will happen is, after this new update, I will not be able to do the T5 bonus rooms when they are blinding Leshaks on grid. It's not going to happen. Or unless I'm really, I become brave, overheat everything, get in like 30-40 kilometer range, take full damage from the Leshaks, not let alone like starvings and tanglings. You know, probably not tanglings, because the web fires, they won't do much to me. But the neuting Leshaks, they will just absolutely like newt me out if I get 30-40 kilometer range. That's like one of the really good ranges of those Leshaks. So I will have a bit of some problems now with the T5 bonus rooms. It's not too bad because they're not extremely common, but it'll be annoying to spend 27 million on a filament and just be like, oh wait, okay, I guess I can't run this, even though I've got 3 billion ISK chip. Oh, I can still not run it. So that's going to be pretty annoying right there. I understand why CCP did this. They want to make it so that people are more engaged with the game. I think that is good. I think it's just stupid that people are AFKing when they're doing the game. But on the other hand, some people do like to do that kind of playstyle. Some people maybe don't want to be super hyper engaged in their game. That's just the way their playstyle, and good to them for that. Like what I'm saying is, I understand why CCP did this, but it's just really annoying for those guys who didn't want to be like really extremely focused, or people just in general who want to do stuff with drones. It feels like now it's going to empower other weapon systems a lot more, and that maybe is a good thing. But me personally, I think this is just going to be annoying. I'm a bit annoyed with this. And also, something that people have really annoyed about is that because this like change makes it so that it's a lot more tedious to use drones, this is kind of going to encourage bots in a way, because bots, they can do everything automatically. If you're like, a lot of people in EVE Online, they get their ISK from grinding nullsec anomalies. Like a lot of people who do Abyss like me, but there's a ton of people in, like, the majority of the people I feel like in nullsec who earn their ISK get it through doing anomalies. And if you make that more tedious, these anomalies were already extremely boring. Like, what the heck is this? You just warp into one of these things and then just blast people away. There's really nothing interesting with them. It's just, you don't have any kind of mission objective. You don't have any kind of like interactive content. Like the Abyss is I feel like it's quite interactive, because you have to kind of like maneuver around these NPCs. If you get too close, like for example to a starving Leshak, that will newt you out, or you have to like avoid these webifiers or prioritize specific targets. When it comes to the anomalies in nullsec, they're just so boring. It's just the most uninteractive content you can possibly have, and I feel like it feels almost a bit counterintuitive that you've got these really boring content, and then you're just forcing people to have to engage with this. This is something that because what people do often do is that they will go to these anomalies, just drop drones, and then like just make sure that their drones were automatically aggressing the NPCs, not really having to do much, just kiting with their like Ishtars or something, or Dominixes. Now they're gonna have to like be there, and it's just these anomalies are already so boring, and people kind of dealt with that by doing it in a kind of AFK sort of style, like they would you know, they would not really pay much attention, but they would get the boring stuff done to get their ISK to do fun stuff. Now it's a different thing, and I feel like this will encourage bots or make people more frustrated with these anomalies, and it'll encourage more bots. Also, in general, when it comes to like, you know, the people being AFK in the game, it is a pretty like, it seems very like, you know, or people should be, you know, paying attention to what they're doing. But something that I feel like a lot of people are not mentioning though in these like these forum threads is this thing, is that this will, if people are like somewhat AFK in their gameplay, this is going to make it easier for people to get caught by hunters. And I can imagine a lot of hunters actually are going to be pissed off about this, because they're hunter erratas, that it's going to be a little bit hard for them. Now, I mean, it's annoying for them, but what I mean is there's kind of like a balance. If you have people being AFK, you have a kind of like balancing force, that you've got people out there to hunt them who are not paying attention, that there's more likely that they're going to get caught if they're not paying attention. Now it's going to be a bit annoying for those hunters, but what I'm trying to say is that there's kind of been like, it's always balanced out, so to say, with the people being out there to get you. If you AFK, then there's a high likelihood that someone is just going to warp in with an interceptor and just tackle you if you're in nullsec. Now in highsec it's a different thing. How you got gankers in highsec, there's a possibility if you're doing missions or something like that. But I feel like this is going to mainly affect nullsec a lot. And honestly, I am starting to feel sorry for you nullsec guys. I'm a highsec gamer right here, but you guys are always getting hit with the nerfs pad all the time. You've got the first resource redistribution update. I understand why all these updates are done, okay? I think there's many benefits to them, but I still feel sorry for you guys. Like, it must be really tough right there. Having your mining nerfed, now your bounty ticks nerfed with that, you know, ESS change. Now you've got the drone aggro changes. It must really sucks to be in nullsec right now, to be honest. I don't spend a whole lot of time in nullsec. I have spent a bit of time there now and then. I go on day trips sometimes to nullsec, but it must really suck for you guys there, and I feel sorry for you guys, and I hope you guys pull through it. You'll find some other activity to earn ISK. Hopefully Abyss will be a good alternative. You maybe should check that out. Alright, so that's a bit of my thoughts on the new drone aggression change. I understand why CCP does this. They want to make people more engaged with the game, and I mean, I think it feels like that's how it should be. You don't want to have people AFKing in the game, but it sucks really for people who had that playstyle of being like not fully there in the game. They maybe want to watch some movies while they're playing. That's a fair playstyle. And also that I feel like this is maybe going to encourage bots. Be really annoying for me in the T5 bonus room. There's like a very niche thing that is going to be affected, so it'll suck for me. And it'll also really, I feel like this will perhaps encourage more bot usage, and just make in general grinding ISK a lot more tedious and annoying in nullsec. I preferably would not, like, if I were to summarize this in just one sentence, I preferably not have this. But let me know what you think in the comments description below, and tell me why. It'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say as well. Hope you guys enjoyed right here, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.